Folks, hello and welcome to Tavern Chat. I'm your host, Eric Tenkar, your bartender in the OSR. And if you need a reason to drink and drink hard, you're seeing it pictured on the screen. Uh, I will throw a link in. Listen, this individual put up a video the other day, which numerous people linked me to it. And of course, I had to link some other people to it. Now, if you notice the ratio, talk about being ratioed. It's 4 thumbs up and 62 thumbs down. That's a worse ratio than the young ladies over on the Gen Con channel got when they couldn't understand the Gygax family dynamics and who said what and what the hell was going on, and they simply made up shit. Well, here we have somebody saying that you shouldn't be playing OSR games because the OSR isn't relevant. You're not going to make $9 million on Twitch playing Labyrinth Lord or Sword and Wizardry or DCC, and you're not. You're not going to make $9 million playing 5e. Some people have. You're not. So he goes on to argue that playing anything other than D&D 5th edition, you're hurting, I don't know, Wizards of the Coast, you're hurting D&D. At least 51% of your gaming should be with 5e. Well, and not to slight 5e, but if I was told that the only way I could run games would be with 5e, I would never run a game again. It's simple. What you play is irrelevant overall. Seriously. Because the hobby, and some people don't understand this part, it isn't a zero sum. Like, oh my God, somebody's playing an OSR game. Therefore, 5e is not being played. Oh my God, somebody's playing Call of Cthulhu. And therefore, I don't know, Kids on Bikes isn't being played. It's all separate. You play what you want. What you play is irrelevant because a rising tide lifts all ships, right? As long as more people are entering the hobby, 5e will certainly get more popular. The OSR will get more popular. There's not a problem with that. The problem is when you have to make, and maybe this individual just doesn't like the OSR. Maybe he doesn't like the people that are attracted to the OSR. Maybe he doesn't like old school gaming. That's fine. But to come out and tell people you can't do this because it's just not relevant. You're not putting money where the money should go. I got news for you. If you spend money on an OSR game, you're having more of an impact on that publisher than if you spent that same amount of money on a Wizards of the Coast product. Or if you spend money on a third-party product for 5e, you're going to have more of an impact than if you spent it on Wizards of the Coast. Now, why is that? Because your money that you're spending on these smaller publishers has a greater impact on the size of their sales than your dollars will have on the sales of Wizards of the Coast. Simple mathematics, simple fact. It's hard to argue with, but I'm sure we could get an argument from our friend on the screen. Now, does that mean that I think that 5e is a bad system? No, I think it's a great system. I think it's doing a great job bringing people into the hobby. And some of the people that come into the hobby, I got news for this guy. I'm afraid to name him because I figure it might be like Candyman. You name him 3 times and appears at your doorstep saying, "Thou shalt not play Swords and Wizardry anymore. Thou shalt only play D&D 5e." But again, the secret is, do you really think that Wizards of the Coast is all that concerned about what's being played? Somebody making $9 million on Twitch, and again, $9 million on Twitch isn't going to one person. It's being distributed against the players/actors, the script writers, the producers, advertising budget. There's a lot of money this stuff is going into. Um, so nobody's walking, but let alone taxes. Nobody's walking away with $9 million. It's a great figure. It's impressive, and as a gamer, I love the idea that hey, a, a faux a faux real play stream again. It's not play like any of us would play D&D, but Critical Role made $9 million. That is awesome. It means that as a role player, whether I play 5e, Call of Cthulhu, Swords and Wizardry, Castles of Crusades, DCC RPG, I should be finding more new players. And here's the thing: if, and I don't know what the numbers are for the OSR, let's say the OSR has, I don't know, a couple thousand players that are really wired in and involved in social media, and maybe 10 times that figure that are not wired in, didn't even know the OSR exists, but they still play 1E, 2E, Swords and Wizardry, whatever. Do you think switching them all over to 5E would make a difference to Wizards of the Coast and their bottom line? No. Do you think it would make a huge difference for Goodman Games, Troll Lord, Frog God, all these other companies that would lose? Yeah. Because his argument is pretty much play 5e because it's relevant and put money into 5e because you want Wizards of the Coast to continue being more relevant. He wants to. I get the feeling that he's not an individual that would support third-party publishers publishing stuff for 5e. He'd want that money going to Wizards of the Coast because it's relevant. Gaming is not relevant. Gaming has. He talks about it being relevant and having a social impact. Gaming is a diversion. Gaming is a hobby. Gaming can be a business. Gaming can be a lot of things. It's certainly something that I enjoy doing. I obviously enjoy talking about, but I don't feel obligated to play somebody's version of the game because it's relevant. You play what you want because it's fun for you. And what's fun for me may not be fun for you. We might not fit into the same groups. We might not fit into the same games. We might go to conventions to play totally different stuff. At an old school gaming convention, you might be like, oh, I don't want to play any of that Swords and Wizards stuff. I only play Mutant Future and DCC. Whatever. You play what you want. You don't play stuff because it's relevant. Because you know what? In the long run, none of this is relevant. It's all bullshit. It's all make believe. And to think otherwise does the hobby and the community a disservice. I know that if I stopped doing all this stuff, I'd be missed for about 5 minutes, and then people would move on. I'm not relevant. If 5e stopped being produced, guess what? There's so much of it already out there, it won't stop being relevant. It won't stop being played until people start finding other stuff. I've seen 5e players that I ran a game for because they thought they were going to get 5e, and our GM got snowed out at GaryCon a couple of years ago, and I had to run a game, Swords and Wizardry Light, for 5e players. I could not run 5e to save my life. And guess what? My table of 8, one guy could not get out of the mindset of, there's got to be a role for everything. But half that table, 4 players, actually went to the Frog God table 2 after the game, 2 the next day, to pick up the core rule. Well, Swords were complete rules at the time, and talk about how much they enjoyed it. Now, do I think they stopped playing 5e? I doubt it. Why would they? Why should they if they're enjoying it? They found something else they can enjoy. Again, I don't enjoy 5e, so why would I play it? Because a talking head on YouTube thinks we should? I don't know. In any case, I will link this as a comment to this below. I'm sure somebody will get entertained by watching it, and you can tell them that yeah, I sent you. Um, yeah, I don't know what else to say. I really, I really don't. Well, I do, but it would probably be stuff that would get me banned from YouTube. Folks, we are still in the midst of the world of the pandemic. Please use your common sense to keep yourself, your loved ones, your family, your friends healthy and safe. Be safe, be well. God bless. Roll those dice. I'll be back tomorrow with another short video. I'll be back Wednesday night, 8 p.m. Eastern, 7 p.m. Central with Bad Mike. I don't know if we have a guest yet for Talking Crit, but we'll certainly have a lot to talk about. And maybe we'll have this guy to talk about. Oh no. I'd love to get Mike's feedback on this. Or he might just curse me if I ask for it. All right, folks. Listen. If you really want to get upset, and I've been asked, do I think this guy's for real? And sadly, I think he's for real. Or it's the best troll I've ever seen in the hobby in a long, long time. All right. On that note, laters.